We have Talon Earley here to talk about his documentary here at the
Yes.
Film Festival, Utah Film Festival. Welcome, Talon.
Thank you.
Tell us about your film,
It's called Path of the Plume.
Path of the Plum.
Yes.
Okay.
It was a hard title to come up with. But it's a documentary about nuclear testing and kind of about downwinders, which are individuals who have experienced basically radioactivity from nuclear testing and have died from it or have other defects and cancers and stuff like that. And
Wow.
so, yeah.
What was the catalyst for this for you? Like, why do a documentary about this?
I was working on a film set actually that I had to drive like 45 minutes to and from set every day for like a month and a half in the summer. And I have a lot of family who live in Delta, Utah. So I was just kind of thinking, I don't know why it came up, but I was just thinking about my family in Delta. They all have like some weird health issues. And I remember my dad always being like, Delta people always have like weird health problems. So I started thinking about it more, and I was like, my uncle died of cancer. And so I did some more research, and he was a downwinder. And then I just researched downwinders more. And like Oppenheimer came out that summer. So
Wow,
like
yeah.
nuclear testing was on the mind.
Interesting.
And then I had a Doc 1 class for film school at UVU. And I had no real other projects that semester. So I was like, I might as well go big or go home with this one.
I
And
love it.
Yeah, there we go.
How long is the doc?
It's about 19 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And this was for your
Yeah.
first school project.
It was,
Excellent.
but turned into a much bigger thing than planned.
Well, did it turn into something big by accident, or did you know that going in?
I knew it was going to be maybe a little bigger than like the 10-minute guideline for the class, but I didn't think it was going to be as intense, I guess, as it turned out to be. But
So
I'm glad
talk
it
to
did.
me about that. What was the process like as far as any big roadblocks you came into or obstacles?
I mean, driving down to Delta, I mean, it's only an hour and a half-ish away from here. But I filmed 3 different interviewees, and so I could kind of cut between everybody, which was the family to my uncle,
Okay.
who passed away from cancer. And I don't know, just driving down every weekend we had during school, and then like didn't realize we had enough hard drive space, so having to drive back up here to grab a hard drive and then back down so we could get another interview, and then the editing process. As documentaries go, that's kind of where the magic is made.
That's fascinating to me because documentaries are a whole other like beast as far
Yeah.
as filmmaking, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that because you've done narrative films, and this is your first documentary.
Yeah. I've done like a little documentary for another class, but
So what was the process like that was different from the narrative films that you've worked on?
For documentaries, it's kind of, I would say, the opposite from narratives, where it's like narrative, you write the screenplay, you have the story, and then you film that. Documentaries, you have an idea, and it has to be a good idea, I think, to like have a good documentary. But you do the interviews and you just film everything you can, and then in the edit is where you really kind of just craft the story and make sure it kind of flows and makes sense. And that's kind of the screenplay part. Like the writing part is the editing part.
Interesting.
So it's a strenuous process, but
Do you
it's
like?
fun.
Do you prefer it?
I don't know if I prefer, but I always thought myself more of a narrative guy, and that's
Okay.
still what I'm aiming for.
Okay.
But I actually liked documentary a lot, and I think there's a lot of intersecting, like,
Sure.
between narrative and documentary. I think there's skills you can take from both and apply to either or.
Do you think you'd make another documentary in the future?
I think so. We'll see.
Yeah.
Give me some time to breathe, and then, yeah.
It is fascinating, though, that you don't know exactly what story is going to emerge
Yeah.
when you're shooting it.
Yeah. It's kind of scary, but it's kind of fun to
Yeah.
just go with the flow. Yeah.
Cool. Tell me about your next project. What's going to be in the future for you?
I directed a capstone the beginning of last semester, or this year. It was a little World War II short film.
Okay.
And then I am directing another capstone at the end of this month. So I'm busy.
Busy.
But
Good
yeah.
for you.
might as well make stuff when you're in film school. So.
Well, yeah, that's what it's all about,
Yeah,
right?
have the gear.
Yeah,
Have the crew.
That's part of it, right? Just
Yeah.
having the equipment and the people,
Yeah.
the manpower.
Makes it a lot easier.
And you've, is this your final year?
Yeah, this is my last semester, so I
Okay.
am on my way out. Good or bad?
What's going to happen when you graduate?
I don't know. That's kind of the scary part about film school, I guess, is...
If you had a fantasy, where would you be, like in, let's say, even 5 years?
5 years, hopefully, a first feature.
Okay.
Like indie, small. I would like to have a feature sometime in the next 5 years.
I like it.
Yeah, just keep making movies. I don't know. Keep writing, keep directing.
It's definitely possible.
Help.
I can see it. Oh, you'll do it. I know you'll do it. What did you learn from this filmmaking process that is gonna, do you think will help you on your next stuff that's coming up?
Yeah, I think it's just following your gut. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's just like, I feel like this is right, and then hopefully it turns out to be right. I don't know why it's right, but in the moment you're like, I think this is right. And later it turns out to be right, and then you have an explanation, but most of the time it's just like, I don't know why, but I'm gonna do this. I can't explain it right now, but hopefully it works out. And then if it doesn't, I can blame my gut.
I think that's good advice just in life, though, to follow your gut, follow your instinct.
True.
I think the more we can learn to listen to ourselves, the better
I think we
off
know, but it
do.
takes a while for our brain to know. I don't know.
Or to even learn how to listen to yourself.
Yeah.
And
You
trust.
gotta trust yourself, which
that's
isn't
it.
easy.
Trust yourself. You got to trust yourself if you're making films.
Yeah.
Because, it falls on you, right? If you're directing, it's like...
Yeah, for better or worse, it's like you get blamed for all the bad, or you get
encouraged
praised for all the good. Even
Yep.
though either way it's not all your fault or your
Right. You get it all.
reason it's good.
You get the responsibility for all of it.
Yeah.
Are you
So-
happy with that? Are you okay with that?
Yeah, I think so. Like, I like the people I've worked with so far, and give them all the credit they deserve too, because they did amazing work. I directed, did cinematography, and helped edit this. But I also had my partner in crime, I guess, Zealand Despain, who produced and also did cinematography and helped edit. And then we had another editor, Addie Gotig, who did a lot as well. So
Yeah. That's
I
what
don't
I
know,
love.
a lot of cooks
Filmmaking.
in the kitchen.
Well,
but
that's what's so beautiful about it, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like that
I
community.
think that's why I like directing. I don't know. I like getting people together and letting them do their craft, getting people that are better than you.
Yes.
But yeah, surround yourself with people that are better than yourself.
I
and
love
then-
that. I love it so much. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything that we didn't get to talk about your film, or anything else that you've got coming up that you want to throw in?
I think a lot of people don't know about downwinders, and more than 500,000 Americans have died from it that we know of.
Wow.
I'm sure there's a lot of invisible deaths because it's an invisible thing that you can't really track
Right.
that well. And funding ended in 2024 for a thing called RECA, which is basically gives $50,000 to people that are fall in very specific lines as downwinders. Like you lived in this place at this time and have this cancer.
Interesting.
But that ended, and that wasn't arguably enough for compensation anyway. And there's still not really that much known on downwinders and the effects. So it's a fairly new thing, so that we don't know if it can pass down to generations or whatnot. So I don't know, look into it. I don't know, hopefully there'll be some sort of legislation soon and vote on it. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know, not many people know about it. I didn't know much about it until I really dove deep into it, and I was like, dang.
I think that's the beauty of documentaries, is that you can bring to light all of these really interesting issues that we might not know about otherwise.
Yeah.
And if you can capture it in a documentary,
Yeah.
put it out into the world.
I hope so. So that's cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So thank you.
Well, congratulations on the film, and it's going to be screening here at the Utah Film Festival, we know, and hopefully it'll have life beyond that.
Oh.
Excellent. Can't wait to see what you do next.
Thank you.
All
Appreciate
right.
it.
We will be back with a lot more interviews here at the Utah Film Festival.